What is going on, gamers, and welcome back to another For Honor gameplay video. Hey, in this video I'm gonna just kind of break down some of my advice that I would give you if you're playing against people who like to use things like environments, revenge, 2v1ing you, and like the brawl playlist. But let me just come out of the gate saying, I mean, people like to play like this. It's fine. They paid for the game. It's in the game. If they want to play like that, that's great. It's not my preferred way to play the game. I like just straight up fights. I don't like environmentals because I feel like you can make 10 right decisions and the other guy can make one right decision and he wins the round. I don't really like that. You know, in environments every now and then, I prefer to have these straight up fights. But some guys, they'll just, I mean, see here, I make a lot of right decisions on this Berserker and he just gets the one guard break he needs to win the match. And it happens. And you get situations like this where you get 2v1'd in Brawl, and you gotta learn how to deal with it. Not everyone's gonna sort of honor that honor code of just letting you finish the fight. So if that happens, feel free to pop your revenge. Make sure you're watching those indicators on your screen that are giving you clues as to what's coming from the guy you're not focused on. And here, okay, so let me just start breaking down some advice for you that I would give you. If you're playing people who like to play quote unquote kind of cheesy, and I don't say that to be cutting, it's just sort of the reality of it. The first thing I would say is you need to learn how to both create openings and take the openings that are given to you. Some guys will try and get under your skin by teabagging, throwing you off cliffs, popping revenge on you. And the one thing you can't afford to do is go full aggro, right? You can't afford to just get really ticked off and go hyper aggressive. I mean, you have to play patient, you have to play smart. Now, playing patient, that doesn't necessarily mean playing passive. I mean, you can be a peacekeeper that plays patient by, you know, just kind of zipping in, getting your quick one or two light attacks and zipping out before the other person has time to react to it. You can play patient like that. So patient doesn't necessarily mean passive. So you need to learn how to create openings and take openings that are given to you. One of the best ways that you can create openings is by baiting attacks. So you can feint your attacks. You can, I mean, if you're a Conqueror, I play a lot of Conqueror. Conqueror can't actually feint, but what you can do is go into your full block stance mid-attack, and that sort of, it's like a pseudo feint. It's not as quick, and it also takes stamina. But you can, like this, bait an attack. So you bait out the attack. It creates an opening because I feint the attack. It makes him think that he can go for the parry, and then he's sort of up the creek without a paddle as he's got that debuff time that he can't do anything. I can zip in, get a guard break, push him into the fire, whatever I want to do to really punish the guy. So you need to learn how to create openings by baiting attacks. You're basically trying to get them to bite on a parry. So I've seen a lot of guys who they'll try and feint attacks, but they don't necessarily know how to do it correctly. Like they'll properly feint an attack. They'll initiate the attack and then they'll pull it. They'll stop it. But then they don't anticipate what their opponent is trying to do in response to their feint. So some guys will go for a feint and then immediately go in for a guard block or a guard break, and that's not a good move. That's not a good way to create an opening, because if you feint the attack, the guy might bite on the parry. So if he goes for a heavy attack trying to parry yours, if you're going for a guard break, your guard break's going to be interrupted by his heavy attack, and you're going to take a butt ton of damage. It's no good. So properly feinting attacks is really, really important. You see here I'm getting 2v1'd. Just remember, if you're getting 2v1'd, don't feel bad about popping that revenge. So the Valkyrie comes in, does some damage to me, and then pops out, and then comes back in before I can get the assassination and get some health regen off of it, right? So then I pop the revenge on her, and I just punish her for it, and get the W. It's a good feeling when you beat guys that, you know, want to 2v1 you or whatever, maybe, or they pop revenge on 1v1, or they're going for cliff kills, right? It feels good to get those wins, but don't go full aggro. Play patient, bait out attacks, take the openings that are given to you as well. So if you're sort of playing at arm's length, not right up in their face, sometimes guys will incorrectly judge the distance and go for a guard break on you. If they do that, if they go for a guard break and they whiff it, you need to go in hot and fast right then, because they have that debuff time. They can't do anything after they've attempted a guard break. One of the things that you need to do is, I would say, anticipate the cheese. So I didn't properly anticipate this little cheesy move here where he flips me and then bashes me off the cliff, right? I was beating the guy, so I learned from my mistake. I anticipated the cheese on the next round, and then I actually punished him for it. So you have to learn from your mistakes, learn to anticipate the cheese. One of the things that you can do when I say anticipate the cheese, guys will like to set up environmental kills with guard breaks, right? Duh. Sometimes they'll do it with a bash of some kind if they're a warlord or conqueror, but for the most part, guys like to use guard breaks to tee them up for environmental kills. So if you're anticipating that, you can be kind of hot on the ready with your guard break interruption. So you can do your fighting, and then just kind of keep your finger right there on the guard break interruption button. So when they hit you with it, you can just quickly anticipate it and react to it like it was planned, right? Another thing that you can do is go for more light attacks. If you know someone is intentionally going for environment kills and you're sort of near a ledge that they want to leverage to their advantage, go for your light attacks. So when they're going for these guard breaks, if you jump the gun on a light attack, they can kind of be up the creek without a paddle because they're trying to get a guard break on you, but that light attack will interrupt the guard break and you'll get free damage on them. So yeah, so definitely make sure that you're learning from your mistakes. If you know, round one they do something to you, don't fall for it again. Adjust to it. Dodges, parries, guard break interruptions, light attacks. These are all great ways of creating openings and punishing them for going for their environmental kills or the cheesy kills, whatever it may be. Last thing that I would say to you is when you're playing against people like this, lose your standards. Okay. Sometimes in a 2v, like in the 2v2, the brawls, if only one of the guys in the enemy team is playing really cheesy, then I'll only play cheesy back to that one guy, but I won't punish the other player for it. If they want to go for straight up fights, then I'll go for straight up fights with them. But with the people that like to play environmental kills and they like to pop revenge and they're 1v1s, or they like to 2v1 you, that's fine. Lose your standards. Just say, you know what, if he gives me the opportunity and there's a ledge right there, sure, I'll chuck him off. If he gives me the opportunity to pop revenge on him, sure, I'll do it. Just lose your standards. Do what you got to do to get the W. You don't have to play sanctimonious and high and mighty all the time. If someone wants to be like that, feel free to lose your standards and go after them and give them a taste of their own medicine. That's the way that they prefer to play the game, and sometimes you just have to adapt to it in order to get your W. So feel free to lose your standards. So these are the things I would tell you to do. Number one, just don't get tilted by it. It's so easy in a game like For Honor just to get really heavily tilted and be like, raging and yelling at your TV, you just kind of lose your crap. And when you do that, it makes you reckless. You make bad decisions. So definitely stay on top of your emotions. Keep your emotions in check. You can't afford to get all aggro and impatient. Okay. Play smart, play patient, create openings, and take the openings that are given to you. Feel free to lose your standards and go after them. And definitely learn to anticipate the cheese. Get your guard break interruptions. And see, this guy goes to the revive. And I'm like, no! So I actually ended up winning this match against these guys. But they were playing pretty cheesy. But I was like, screw it! I just said, you know what? I'm losing my standards. I just chucked him off the edge, and I felt nothing. So that's what I would tell you. Hopefully this is helpful, guys. Hopefully you are enjoying your time with For Honor as I am, and I hope to catch you here on the battlefield.